This episode is brought to you by King of Beards. This is my online shop where you can find high quality products that will help you grow a strong, healthy beard that not only looks great, but also will smell great as well. Definitely the people in your life that like to get up and close with you are gonna thank you for this one. These are products that I use personally. The link is below in the video description section, and if you use my coupon code KING, you'll get 15% off on your first order. In this episode, we'll be exploring 10 surprisingly halal facts about marriage in the religion of Islam, including the role of marriage in promoting chastity and morality, the guidelines of marriage, as well as the importance of consent of the parents and the role of reconciliation and forgiveness, as well as the division of responsibilities between husband and wife. How's it going, FTD Facts fam? Leroy Kenton here. You're watching FTD Facts, and I believe by understanding these facts, we can definitely gain a deeper understanding of the significance of marriage in Islam and how it shapes the Muslim community. With that said, let's jump into this episode. At number 10, marriage is based on love. So marriage is seen as a religious and social contract that promotes chastity and morality in the religion of Islam. It is a sacred bond between two individuals based on mutual love, respect, and commitment. Now, the Quran, the holy book in Islam, encourages marriage as a way to establish a stable family life and to raise children in a moral and religious environment. Muslims are taught that marriage is not just a physical or emotional relationship, but it's also a spiritual one, and that it is a way to also please God and seek the blessings of God. Number 9, let's talk about multiple wives. So Muslims are permitted to have multiple wives. I should restate that Muslim men are permitted to have multiple wives. However, it is important to note that this is allowed only under certain conditions. Men must treat all of their wives equally and justly, and this means that they need to provide for each of them financially as well as emotionally. So in every single aspect, they gotta provide for their wives equally. Now, the Quran states that men should definitely incline to one wife only if they fear that they aren't going to be able to treat all of them justly and fairly. Women, though, are only allowed to marry one Muslim man to ensure that their rights are protected and that there is no mistreatment at all in the marriage. Number 8 leads us to consent being needed. Before getting married, it is mandatory for both men and women to have the consent of their parents or guardians. This is set in place to ensure that the decisions is well thought out and also taken with the guidance of trusted individuals. The consent of parents is also seen as a way to preserve the family's honor, as well as it's seen as something that helps prevent any potential conflicts that may come up in the marriage. Also, did you know that divorce is permitted? Yes, divorce is allowed in Islam, but it's something that is strongly discouraged and considered to be the last resort. The Quran encourages reconciliation and forgiveness, and Muslims are taught to try to resolve any issue in the marriage before resorting to divorce. You can't just be like, oh, I'm tired of you, oh, divorce. No. You gotta exhaust all of your options first. And Muslims are also encouraged to seek the help of a neutral third party, such as maybe an Islamic scholar or someone to try to resolve any conflicts going on in the marriage. Coming up at fact number 6, we have a little bit more information about the role of husbands in the marriage. In an Islamic marriage, the husband is responsible for providing for the financial needs of the entire family, while the wife is responsible for managing the household affairs as well as raising the children. This division of responsibilities is based on the belief that men and women have different roles and strengths, and that these roles complement each other. And moving on to fact number 5, let's talk about the marriage ceremony. Islamic marriage ceremonies typically include the signing of a marriage contract and the recitation of prayers in Arabic. Now, the marriage contract, called the nikah, outlines the rights and responsibilities of both parties and is considered a very integral part of the marriage ceremony. Also, the prayers, which are recited by an Islamic scholar, are meant to ask for God's blessing on the couple and their marriage. So even if the couple is married outside of a Muslim country, they may have to go through the process of the laws of the land to get married in their country, but also need to perform a nikah if they are Muslim. So usually the couple puts them all together in one ceremony, but either way, the two are seen as separate and distinct. This way they can honor their commitment to their religion as well as a commitment to the laws of the country that they live in. In at the number 4 spot, marriage is also a symbol of faith. And I'll break down what that really means. So Muslims believe that a strong and healthy marriage is a reflection of one's faith and devotion to God. The spiritual aspect of marriage is an integral part of the Islamic tradition, and it's also believed that a couple's relationship with God is actually strengthened through their commitment to each other in their marriage. Family is also a huge part of the Islamic marriage. So in Islam, the family is considered to be the foundation of society, and marriage is seen as the cornerstone of that foundation. A stable and healthy marriage is seen as an essential part for the well-being of individuals, families, and society as a whole. So yes, if you don't have any individuals, well, you can't have a family, and if you don't have a family, there's no society, there's no community, there's no cities, no countries, none of that. So that's why they stress that family is such an important part. And you can have a family through the construct of marriage in Islam. Now, we touched on this a little bit, but for fact number 2, it is very important for society, marriage. Yeah, marriage is considered one of the most important foundations of society in Islam, and the religion has set specific guidelines to ensure that it is a positive and fulfilling experience for all parties involved. The emphasis on reconciliation and forgiveness in the event of conflicts, for example, as well as the importance of consent of parents, as well as the provisions for the rights and responsibilities of both parties, are just some of the guidelines that make Islamic marriage a unique and meaningful institution. So the whole intent of it is for it to be something positive, not negative in society. And the fact we'll end off with this episode on at number 1 is marrying young. Muslims believe that marriage is not only a bond between two individuals, but also a bond with society, family, and God. Muslims are encouraged to marry at a young age, and it is seen as a way to ensure that they will lead a morally upright life and raise children in a religious and moral environment. Alright guys, so that does it for this episode. This was a look at 10 surprisingly halal facts about marriage in Islam. I know some of these are probably surprising to you if you're not Muslim, and maybe if you're Muslim, some of them were surprising to you. Either way, I want to know your thoughts and comments down below. These points definitely give us a glimpse into the various aspects of marriage in Islam, and it's definitely clear that marriage is not just a contract between two people, but it's also a way to strengthen one's faith and devotion to their God. It's a bond that shapes the Muslim community and promotes strong, healthy relationships. Overall, marriage in Islam is definitely a vital and meaningful institution that is deeply ingrained in the Muslim culture and religion. So thanks for joining me in this episode. If you made it this far, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay awesome, stay educated. I'll see you soon.